Pre-Russell, in 1946, the league wasn't called the NBA. It was the Basketball Association of America, BAA. It started with just 11 teams, most of which were owned by hockey arena operators trying to fill empty calendar dates. The very first game was played between the New York Knicks and the Toronto Huskies. The Knicks won by 2 points. Joe Fulks became the first true superstar, averaging over 23 points per game, a huge number for the time, and leading the Philadelphia Warriors to the first championship. But immediately after that season, 4 teams folded, dropping the league to just 7. In the BAA's second year, 1947-48, the Baltimore Bullets joined from the rival National Basketball League, NBL, and actually won the championship behind Buddy Jeanette. That season only had 48 games, but Max Zaslavsky still led the league in scoring. The BAA took a massive step in 1948 when it poached 4 top teams from the NBL, including the Minneapolis Lakers and their 6'10 center George Mikan. Mikan's arrival changed everything. He averaged nearly 30 points per game, dominating physically like no one before. He led the Lakers to a dominant finals win. In 1949, the BAA and NBL officially merged to form the National Basketball Association, NBA. The league expanded to 17 teams, split into 3 divisions. But the growth didn't last. Teams began folding again almost immediately. By 1950, the league had shrunk back to 11 teams. But that same year, a monumental moment occurred. Earl Lloyd became the first African-American player to appear in an NBA game. Chuck Cooper and Nat Clifton joined shortly after. George Mikan continued to dominate into the early 1950s. The league widened the paint area from 6 feet to 12 feet to slow him down, but he still led the Lakers to titles. His size and skill forced the league to make rule changes just to try and contain him. The first All-Star game was held in 1951. Ed Macauley was named MVP. Over time, stars like Paul Arizin and Bob Cousy began to rise. In 1956, the league introduced the Most Valuable Player (MVP) award. The first winner was Bob Pettit, who averaged 25 points and 16 rebounds. In 1954, the NBA introduced the 24-second shot clock to prevent teams from stalling and to increase scoring. It changed the game overnight. Pace increased, scoring jumped, and the NBA finally looked like a modern professional league. By the mid-1950s, the NBA had contracted to just 8 teams, a number it would stick with for years. The league was now faster, more exciting, and had a clearer identity. The groundwork was laid. Rule changes, racial integration, and superstar dominance had all begun to shape what the NBA would become. Wilt and Russell era. The Boston Celtics won their first NBA championship in 1957, led by rookie Bill Russell. In Game 7 of the finals, Russell pulled down 32 rebounds in a double overtime win. Bob Cousy won league MVP that year, but it was Russell's arrival that completely transformed defense in the NBA. In 1958, the Celtics were dethroned by the St. Louis Hawks. Russell injured his ankle in the finals, and Bob Pettit took advantage, scoring 50 points in the clincher. This would be the only year between 1957 and 1969 that Boston didn't win the title. In 1959, the Celtics began their stretch of dominance, sweeping the Minneapolis Lakers in the finals. Russell's rebounding and defense, Cousy's passing, and Bill Sharman's scoring created a nearly unbeatable formula. That same year, rookie Elgin Baylor joined the Lakers, offering a glimpse of hope for the franchise. His high-flying scoring ability was years ahead of his time. In 1960, Wilt Chamberlain entered the NBA with the Philadelphia Warriors. He immediately shattered expectations, averaging 37.6 points and 27 rebounds per game. But despite the numbers, his team couldn't get past the Celtics in the playoffs. The league's talent pool deepened. Oscar Robertson debuted in 1960, and in his rookie season, nearly averaged a triple-double. The Lakers relocated from Minneapolis to Los Angeles that same year. In 1962, Wilt scored his famous 100 points in a single game and averaged 50.4 points per game for the season, still an NBA record. Despite the eye-popping stats, Bill Russell won MVP and again beat the Lakers in a Game 7 finals thriller. In 1963, the Warriors moved to San Francisco and the Syracuse Nationals became the Philadelphia 76ers. John Havlicek joined Boston, becoming an Elite Six man and helping deepen the Celtics' already dangerous roster. In 1964, Oscar Robertson finally won MVP. He almost averaged a triple-double again and led the Cincinnati Royals to a strong playoff run. But Boston still swept the Warriors in the finals. In 1965, Russell hit his prime. He led the Celtics to 62 wins, averaged 24 rebounds per game, and again beat the Lakers in the finals. Meanwhile, Wilt Chamberlain was traded mid-season from the Warriors to the 76ers, setting the stage for new rivalries. In 1966, Wilt was back on top, winning MVP with 33.5 points and 24.6 rebounds per game. The 76ers beat Boston in the regular season, but the Celtics eliminated the Lakers again in a 7-game final series. Wilt finally broke through in 1967. Surrounded by a strong supporting cast, he averaged 24 points, 24 rebounds, and 8 assists, leading the 76ers to 68 wins, a playoff win over Boston, and a finals victory over Rick Barry's Warriors. This was the only time Boston didn't win the East during Russell's full seasons. In 1968, Russell, now also the team's head coach, led the Celtics to a stunning comeback against Philadelphia, overcoming a 3-1 series deficit. They then defeated the Lakers once again in the finals. In 1969, the Celtics won one last title before Russell retired, his 11th championship in 13 seasons. It was the ultimate capstone. The Lakers, led by Jerry West, lost again, despite West winning Finals MVP, the only time it's ever gone to a player on the losing team. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar era. In 1969, Bill Russell walked away with 11 rings. The Celtics dynasty ended, and the league was wide open. In 1970, a new star emerged. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then known as Lou Alcindor, debuted with the Milwaukee Bucks and immediately changed the landscape. He averaged nearly 29 points and 15 rebounds as a rookie, winning Rookie of the Year and taking the Bucks from last place to 56 wins. In his second season, Kareem teamed up with Oscar Robertson, and the duo was unstoppable. The Bucks went 66-16, steamrolled the playoffs, and swept the Bullets in the finals. Kareem led the league in scoring and won both MVP and Finals MVP. In 1972, the Los Angeles Lakers responded by winning 69 games and setting a then-record 33-game win streak. Wilt Chamberlain adjusted to a supporting role while Jerry West and Gail Goodrich carried the scoring. They defeated the Knicks in the finals, and West finally earned his long-awaited ring. In 1973, the Knicks got revenge with Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe, and Willis Reed leading the way. Kareem still won MVP and led the league in scoring, but his Bucks began to decline. Nate "Tiny" Archibald became the first and only player to lead the league in both scoring and assists in the same season, averaging 34 points and 11.4 assists per game for the Kansas City Omaha Kings. In 1974, the Celtics returned with a new core. John Havlicek led the offense, Dave Cowens dominated inside, and they won the title in a tough 7-game series against Kareem's Bucks. That marked Oscar Robertson's final season. In 1975, Rick Barry led the Golden State Warriors to a stunning final sweep over the heavily favored Washington Bullets. Barry's efficient scoring and team-oriented play brought the Warriors their first title since 1956. By 1976, the Bucks were no longer contenders. Kareem requested a trade and landed in Los Angeles. He won MVP in his first season with the Lakers, despite the team missing the playoffs. That same year, the ABA officially merged with the NBA. 4 ABA teams, Spurs, Pacers, Nets, and Nuggets, joined the league. This expanded the NBA to 22 teams and brought in ABA stars like Julius Dr. J. Irving and George Gervin. Julius Irving quickly became a marquee star for the Philadelphia 76ers. His athleticism and charisma made him one of the league's most marketable figures. In 1977, Bill Walton and the Blazers won their first and only title. Walton's passing, rebounding, and defense made him one of the most complete big men ever. They beat the Sixers in 6 games, despite Irving's brilliance. From 1974 to 1979, 7 different teams won the NBA title. There was no single dominant dynasty. Talent was spread out. Stars like Kareem, Walton, Dr. J, Rick Barry, Cowens, and Elvin Hayes each had their moments. Despite not winning a title in LA yet, Kareem remained the most consistent player of the decade. He won 5 MVPs during the 1970s and averaged over 25 points and 12 rebounds per game across the era. His skyhook was unstoppable and became the most iconic shot in NBA history. By the end of the 70s, the NBA had expanded reach, more personality, and foundational stars. But the league lacked a true superstar rivalry to carry it forward. that was about to change with the arrival of two rookies, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Magic and Bird era. In 1979, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird first faced off in the NCAA championship game. Magic's Michigan State beat Bird's Indiana State, drawing a record TV audience and setting the stage for a decade-long rivalry that would transform the NBA. That same year, Magic was drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers, and Bird joined the Boston Celtics. Bird won Rookie of the Year after taking Boston from 29 wins to 61. Magic, meanwhile, became the only rookie in NBA history to win Finals MVP, famously starting at center for an injured Kareem in Game 6 of the 1980 Finals. In 1981, Bird led the Celtics to the title, defeating the Houston Rockets, who had made a surprising Finals run with a 40-42 record. Cedric Maxwell won Finals MVP. In 1982, the Lakers won their second title of the decade, now under coach Pat Riley, who introduced Showtime basketball, a fast-paced, high-scoring offense fueled by Magic's passing, James Worthy's athleticism, and Kareem's dominance inside. The Philadelphia 76ers finally broke through in 1983. With Moses Malone joining Julius Erving, the Sixers cruised to the championship, losing only once in the playoffs. Malone was named both League MVP and Finals MVP. The NBA got what it had long waited for: Lakers versus Celtics in the finals. The series went to 7 games. Bird won Finals MVP, securing his second championship and capping off his first League MVP season. The intensity and physicality of the series reignited national interest in the NBA. In 1985, the Lakers returned the favor. Despite being blown out by 34 in Game 1, dubbed the Memorial Day Massacre, they rebounded to win the series in 6. Kareem, at age 38, won Finals MVP, showing he still had plenty left. In the same year, Michael Jordan arrived in the NBA. As a rookie, he averaged 28.2 points per game and won Rookie of the Year. Though the Bulls weren't contenders yet, Jordan quickly became the league's most electrifying player. The 1986 Celtics were arguably the most complete team of the decade. They won 67 games and went 13-3 in the playoffs. Bird won his third straight MVP, while Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Dennis Johnson provided elite support. They beat the Houston Rockets in the finals. In '87, Magic Johnson won his first MVP and led the Lakers to 65 wins and a finals victory over the Celtics. Magic's no-look passes, court vision, and leadership solidified Showtime's identity. He also won Finals MVP, further tilting the rivalry in LA's favor. The Lakers became the first team to repeat as champions since the Russell Celtics. James Worthy recorded a triple-double in Game 7 versus the Pistons and won Finals MVP. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan won his first MVP, scoring title and Defensive Player of the Year, averaging over 35 points per game. Together, Magic and Bird revived the NBA, pulling it from tape delay broadcasts to national prominence. Ratings soared, rivalries grew. The league expanded from 22 to 25 teams, and international interest began to take root. This era didn't just produce stars, it gave the NBA an identity built on flair, toughness, and iconic matchups. The Bad Boys era. After years of knocking on the door, the Detroit Pistons captured their first NBA championship in 1989. Led by Isaiah Thomas, Joe DeMars, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Laimbeer, the Pistons were physical, relentless, and unapologetic. They swept the Lakers in the finals, capitalizing on injuries to both Magic Johnson and Byron Scott. Joe DeMars was named Finals MVP, but the team's identity was all about collective defense and mental toughness. Detroit's calling card was their aggressive defensive strategy known as the Jordan Rules, a system designed to physically wear down Michael Jordan every time he touched the ball. The Pistons beat Jordan's Chicago Bulls in 3 straight playoff series from 1988 to 1990 by collapsing on him, forcing the ball out of his hands and punishing him in the paint. In 1990, Detroit repeated as champions, this time beating the Portland Trail Blazers in 5 games. Isaiah Thomas won Finals MVP, highlighted by a legendary third quarter in Game 5 where he scored 21 points. The team's depth, featuring Vinnie Johnson, Mark Aguirre, John Sally, and James Edwards, proved too much for opponents. During this stretch, the Pistons held teams to under 96 points per game, an elite number even in a slower-paced era. They weren't built on star scoring or flash. They won with grit, rebounding, team defense, and a commitment to making games physical and uncomfortable for their opponents. In 1990, Michael Jordan and the Bulls pushed Detroit to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jordan was sensational, but Detroit's relentless pressure and experience won out. It marked the last time Detroit would beat Chicago in the playoffs. Nicknamed the Bad Boys, this Pistons team embraced their villain role. They were hated by many, but respected for their effectiveness. They knocked off Bird's Celtics, Magic's Lakers, and Jordan's Bulls. Few teams in history beat all 3 of those dynasties during their peak years. Detroit's run was short but impactful. Their back-to-back titles, stifling defense, and no-nonsense play defined a distinct era in NBA history. They weren't built to entertain, they were built to win. But in 1991, their time ran out. The Bulls had enough, and Jordan was finally ready. The Jordan era. In 1991, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls finally got past their arch rivals, sweeping the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. The series ended with Detroit walking off the court without shaking hands. Jordan then led Chicago to its first NBA championship by defeating Magic Johnson's Lakers in 5 games. Jordan averaged 31 points, won Finals MVP, and officially took over as the face of the league. In 1992, Jordan won his 2nd straight MVP and Finals MVP. The Portland Trail Blazers, led by Clyde Drexler, couldn't match Chicago's pace. Jordan opened Game 1 with 6 3-pointers in the first half, ending with a shrug that became iconic. The Bulls won in 6. That summer, Jordan joined forces with Magic, Bird, Barkley, and others on the 1992 Olympic Dream Team, the most dominant basketball squad ever assembled. They won gold with ease and introduced NBA basketball to a global audience. In 1993, Charles Barkley won league MVP for the Phoenix Suns, but Jordan took it personally. He averaged over 41 points per game in the finals, including a clutch Game 6 dagger, sealing the Bulls' 3rd straight title. John Paxson hit the series-winning 3, but Jordan's offensive explosion defined the series. That same year, tragedy struck. Jordan's father was murdered. Deeply affected, Jordan retired from basketball in October 1993 to pursue a baseball career. The NBA was stunned. In 1994, Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets seized the opportunity. Hakeem won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP, the first player to do all 3 in the same season. Houston defeated Patrick Ewing's Knicks in a gritty 7-game series. Jordan returned late in the 1995 season wearing jersey number 45. Though he showed flashes of brilliance, the Bulls lost to Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway's Orlando Magic in the playoffs. Houston capitalized again, sweeping the Magic in the finals behind another brilliant run from Hakeem. In his first full season back, Jordan led the Bulls to a then-record 72-10 regular season. He won MVP, Dennis Rodman dominated the boards, and the Bulls beat the Seattle Supersonics in 6 games. Jordan's 4th Finals MVP marked his full return to dominance. Karl Malone won MVP, but Jordan beat his Utah Jazz in the 1997 Finals. Game 5 became legendary, the flu game, where Jordan, visibly ill, scored 38 points and carried the Bulls to a critical win. They sealed the series in 6. In 1998, with speculation about the end of the Bulls dynasty, Chicago returned for one last run. The finals again featured the Jazz. In Game 6, Jordan scored 45 points, hit the game-winning shot over Brian Russell, and left his hand in the air, an image etched in NBA history. The Bulls won their 6th title, and Jordan claimed his 6th Finals MVP. Afterwards, Phil Jackson resigned, Scottie Pippen was traded, Dennis Rodman was released, and Michael Jordan retired. Again, the Bulls dynasty was dismantled almost overnight. The Duncan, Shaq, and Kobe era. With Michael Jordan retired and the Bulls dismantled, the NBA needed new faces of dominance. That void was quickly filled by Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant. 3 players who would define a decade of excellence, championships, and rivalries. In a lockout-shortened season, Tim Duncan led the San Antonio Spurs to their first ever NBA championship. Averaging 27 points and 14 rebounds in the playoffs, Duncan earned Finals MVP honors. His partnership with veteran David Robinson anchored a franchise built on defense, discipline, and fundamentals. Phil Jackson took over the Lakers, bringing with him the triangle offense and championship experience. In 2000, Shaquille O'Neal won league MVP, Finals MVP, and averaged nearly 30 points and 15 rebounds in the playoffs. The Lakers repeated in 2001, going 15-1 in the postseason, one of the most dominant playoff runs ever. Kobe Bryant emerged as a superstar, while Shaq once again dominated the finals, this time against Allen Iverson's 76ers. In 2002, they completed the three-peat by sweeping the New Jersey Nets. Shaq earned his third straight Finals MVP, but behind the scenes, tensions between him and Kobe were building. With the Lakers' dynasty cracking, Tim Duncan reclaimed the spotlight. He won both League MVP and Finals MVP, leading the Spurs to a second championship over the Nets. Duncan's mastery of the post and elite rim protection earned him the nickname the Big Fundamental. The Lakers added Karl Malone and Gary Payton, trying to form a super team. But the Detroit Pistons, led by Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, and Rip Hamilton, stunned the league. Their defensive identity and team-first approach overwhelmed the star-studded Lakers in 5 games. Billups was named Finals MVP, and the Shaq-Kobe partnership ended shortly after. Following the Finals loss, Shaquille O'Neal was traded to the Miami Heat. Kobe Bryant became the Lakers' lone star, entering a transitional period of high-scoring but minimal playoff success. Duncan captured his third championship with help from Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. The Spurs beat the Pistons in 7 grueling games, and Duncan was again named Finals MVP. In just his third season, Dwayne Wade led the Miami Heat to their first NBA title. Down 0-2 in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks, Wade averaged 35 points over the next 4 games to lead the comeback. Shaq played a supporting role, while Wade took Finals MVP honors. LeBron James made his first Finals appearance with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the Spurs swept them easily. Tony Parker was named Finals MVP, and the Spurs secured their 4th title in 9 seasons. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce joined forces in Boston. The trio led the Celtics to 66 wins and a Finals victory over the Lakers. Paul Pierce won Finals MVP, and Kevin Garnett anchored the league's top defense. After years without Shaq, Kobe Bryant led the Lakers back to the top. They defeated the Orlando Magic in 5 games. Kobe averaged over 30 points per game and finally won a championship as the undisputed leader, earning his first Finals MVP. In a rematch with the Celtics, Kobe and the Lakers went the distance. In a physical 7-game series, the Lakers overcame a 13-point deficit in Game 7. Kobe won his 5th ring and 2nd Finals MVP, cementing his legacy as one of the game's fiercest competitors. From 1999 to 2010, 3 players, Duncan, Shaq, and Kobe, won a combined 10 championships. The era was defined by defensive intensity, post play, and the rise of international talent. Stars like Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Yao Ming, and Pau Gasol brought global reach. Meanwhile, LeBron James had entered the league and was ready to take over next. The Heat's Big Three era. In the summer of 2010, LeBron James announced on national television that he was leaving Cleveland to join Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. The infamous decision sparked backlash, but it also formed one of the most talked about super teams in NBA history. At their introduction rally, LeBron famously said they'd win not 1, not 2, and so on, fueling expectations and criticism instantly. Despite a shaky 9-8 start, the Heat found their rhythm, finishing 58-24 and reaching the finals. They knocked off the Celtics and MVP Derrick Rose's Bulls in the East. In the finals, however, Dirk Nowitzki and the Dallas Mavericks stunned the Heat in 6 games. LeBron struggled, averaging just 17.8 points per game, and was heavily criticized for disappearing in key moments. A lockout shortened the season to 66 games, but the Heat returned more focused. LeBron won MVP, averaging 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. In the East Finals, he delivered a defining moment, 45 points and 15 rebounds in Game 6 on the road against Boston. The Heat then beat Kevin Durant's Oklahoma City Thunder in 5 games. LeBron secured his first NBA championship and Finals MVP. This was the Heat at their best. They won 66 games, including 27 in a row, the second longest winning streak in NBA history. LeBron claimed his 4th MVP, averaging 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.3 assists while shooting over 56%. The playoffs were a grind. They survived a 7-game battle with the Pacers, then faced the Spurs in the finals. Game 6 of the 2013 finals became legendary. Down 3 points with seconds left, Ray Allen hit a game-tying corner 3 to save the season. The Heat won in overtime, then sealed the title in Game 7. LeBron dropped 37 points, earned his 2nd Finals MVP, and cemented this run as elite. The Heat returned to the finals for a 4th straight year, but cracks were showing. Wade missed games due to injury, and Bosh's production dropped. The San Antonio Spurs dismantled Miami in 5 games, playing nearly perfect basketball. Kawhi Leonard, just 22 years old, won Finals MVP. San Antonio's unselfish ball movement and team defense overwhelmed Miami. After the loss, LeBron James announced he was returning to Cleveland. The Heat Big Three era ended after 4 finals appearances, 2 championships, and a transformative impact on the league. Teams across the league began following the Heat's blueprint, pairing stars, embracing modern spacing, and prioritizing versatility. Cavs versus Warriors era. The Golden State Warriors, under first-year head coach Steve Kerr, finished 67-15 with a revolutionary style built around ball movement, three-point shooting, and elite defense. Steph Curry won his first MVP, averaging 24 points, 7 assists, and shooting over 44% from 3. Alongside Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, the Splash Brothers redefined offensive spacing. In the finals, they faced LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were without Kevin Love and lost Kyrie Irving to a fractured kneecap in Game 1. LeBron averaged 35.8 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 8.8 assists, but the Warriors' depth, especially Andre Iguodala, prevailed in 6 games. Iguodala won Finals MVP for his defense on LeBron and timely scoring. The Warriors broke the regular season record, going 73-9, surpassing the 1996 Bulls. Curry became the first ever unanimous MVP, averaging 30 points, over 5 three-pointers per game, and leading the league in steals. Golden State reached the finals again and led 3-1 over Cleveland. Then, everything changed. Draymond Green was suspended for Game 5, LeBron and Kyrie each dropped 41 points in Game 5. LeBron followed with another 41 in Game 6. Game 7 featured the block, LeBron's chase-down rejection of Iguodala, and Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning 3 over Curry. Cleveland won 93-89, completing the first 3-1 comeback in finals history. LeBron almost averaged a triple-double, led both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, and won Finals MVP. It was the Cavs' first NBA title, and Cleveland's first major sports championship in 52 years. Then Kevin Durant joined the Warriors in free agency, creating a super team. Critics questioned the competitive balance, but the results were devastating. Golden State finished 67-15 and stormed through the playoffs 16-1, the best postseason record ever. In the finals, they beat the Cavs in 5. Durant averaged 35 points, including a dagger pull-up 3 over LeBron in Game 3. He won Finals MVP, and Curry, Thompson, and Green filled their roles perfectly. The Cavs returned for a 4th straight finals, but the team was weaker after trading Kyrie Irving the previous offseason. LeBron James had an extraordinary postseason, averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists, including a 51-point masterpiece in Game 1 of the finals. However, a late mistake by J.R. Smith, dribbling out the clock in a tie game, led to an overtime collapse. The Warriors swept Cleveland in 4 games. Durant repeated as Finals MVP, and the dynasty was in full swing. This was the first true modern rivalry of the social media age. It brought record ratings, global storylines, and elite-level basketball. The style of play, team-building philosophy, and player empowerment seen during this era would set the stage for what came next. Balance of power era. With LeBron James now in Los Angeles and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson both suffering devastating injuries in the finals, the Toronto Raptors, led by Kawhi Leonard, took advantage. After trading for Kawhi in a high-risk move, Toronto finished 58-24 and beat the Warriors in 6 games. Kawhi averaged 28.5 points and won Finals MVP, his second with a second franchise. This marked the first ever NBA title for Canada, and the first championship won without LeBron, Curry, or Durant in almost a decade. The pandemic paused the season and forced the NBA to finish in an isolated environment called the bubble. With no fans, distractions, or travel, it became a mental test. LeBron James and Anthony Davis led the Lakers to their 17th championship, tying them with the Celtics for most all-time. LeBron averaged 27 points, almost 11 rebounds, and 9 assists, winning his 4th Finals MVP and becoming the first player to win Finals MVP with 3 different franchises. After back-to-back MVPs in 2019 and 2020, Giannis Antetokounmpo finally broke through. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. Giannis closed it out with a historic 50-point performance in Game 6, winning Finals MVP and silencing all critics. His loyalty to Milwaukee and refusal to join a super team made the title even more meaningful. After 2 down years, the Golden State Warriors returned with a vengeance. Steph Curry finally won his first Finals MVP, averaging 31 points per game and leading the Warriors past the Boston Celtics in 6 games. It was the Warriors' 4th title in 8 years, and Curry cemented his legacy as the greatest shooter in NBA history. Nikola Jokic, the Serbian center who had already won back-to-back MVPs in 2021 and 2022, led the Denver Nuggets to their first ever NBA championship. Jokic averaged a near triple-double throughout the playoffs and was Finals MVP, beating Jimmy Butler's Miami Heat in 5 games. Jamal Murray's return was also key. This was a milestone for international talent, as Jokic became the first center since Shaq to dominate offensively in the finals, after falling short in 2022 and collapsing in the 2023 East Finals. The Boston Celtics finally put it all together. With Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, and a deep bench joining Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Boston overwhelmed the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP, and Tatum silenced critics with all-around dominance. Boston claimed its 18th title, passing the Lakers for the most in NBA history. In a season defined by unpredictability, SGA delivered. The Oklahoma City Thunder, long seen as a team of the future, arrived ahead of schedule and claimed the 2025 NBA championship. Shea averaged around 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, becoming one of the few players in NBA history to win League MVP, a scoring title, and Finals MVP in one season. This was the NBA's most balanced and unpredictable period ever. There was no single formula, no repeat narrative, only opportunity. The Thunder simply seized it first, and with SGA, Chet, and J-Dub all under 27, the league may have finally found its next dynasty, in OKC, who did it the old-fashioned way. If you like videos like this, make sure to click the video on the screen for more.